Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Chem, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today for this explainer. We're looking at a revolutionary bioprocessing technology that, honestly, feels like it's pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie. But it is very real, and it's completely transforming how we manufacture life-saving biomolecules. We're talking about expanded bed adsorption chromatography, or EBA for short. Just picture it, sweeping aerial views of a modern, sterile biotechnology facility. Automated chromatography equipment is operating flawlessly around the clock, while glowing protein molecules and complex biological fluids stream through the system. Instead of grinding through tedious, old-school purification steps, we can now pull highly purified therapeutic proteins straight out of a crude, messy biological soup. That is the magic of EBA. And today, we're going to look under the hood with some incredible 3D animations to see exactly how it works.
But first, we really have to understand the massive problem the industry is facing right now, 80%. Right now, downstream processing, which is basically all the steps required to separate and purify a biological product after it's been grown, accounts for more than 80% of total biomanufacturing costs. It's incredibly expensive, it's highly inefficient, and frankly, it is the biggest bottleneck in bringing new biological therapies and vaccines to the public.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the downstream processing bottleneck. Second, introducing expanded bed adsorption. Third, how the EBA process works. Fourth, packed beds versus EBA. And fifth, challenges and future innovations.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the downstream processing bottleneck.
So here is what a traditional downstream process looks like. You harvest your cells, you break them open during cell disruption to release your target proteins. And then, you're left with a chaotic, crude slurry of cell debris, DNA, and impurities. Now, you absolutely cannot just pump this directly into a standard chromatography column to purify your protein. Imagine zooming into a 3D cutaway of a traditional column and watching it just instantly choke on this crude biological sample. It's a disaster. Traditional packed beds act like tight filters. They get clogged immediately, causing a massive pressure drop and completely ruining the equipment. So before you can even think about purification, you have to spend hours running the sample through massive centrifuges and microfiltration units just to clear out the solid debris. It takes forever, it costs a literal fortune, and the worst part, you lose precious product at every single step.
Section 2. Introducing expanded bed adsorption.
But what if we didn't have to do any of that? What if we could just skip those steps entirely? This brings us to a massive eureka moment in biomanufacturing. EBA is a preparative chromatographic technique that integrates clarification, concentration, and initial purification all into one single elegant step. Because of how the bed is designed, it can process those unclarified, chunky, crude feedstocks directly. No centrifuges, no microfiltration. It essentially collapses a multi-step, multi-hour nightmare into one highly efficient, streamlined unit operation. A real game changer.
Now, what's really interesting about this mapping is how clearly it illustrates the time and energy savings. On the left side, you see that traditional pathway grinding down through multiple solid-liquid separation steps before eventually, reaching the chromatography phase. But look at the EBA pathway. It completely bypasses that entire middle block of time-consuming centrifugation and microfiltration. It just takes the disrupted cell mixture and feeds it directly into the adsorption column. This is a total paradigm shift for energy savings and overall production speed.
Section 3. How the EBA process works. Let's look under the hood.
So how is this actually possible? How on earth do you pump a crude biological soup into a column without clogging it? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the entire life cycle of an EBA process. We start with a settled bed of specialized beads. But instead of pumping fluid from the top down, like you would in a traditional column, EBA introduces the fluid from the bottom up. As the liquid flows upward, it actually lifts the beads, expanding the bed to about 2 or 3 times its original height. This is our equablation phase. Then we apply our crude feed directly. After the target proteins bind to the beads, we wash out all that debris, and then finally elute our highly purified proteins, followed by a cleaning step.
So the crucial point is how these beads behave when the liquid pushes them up. In a normal fluidized bed, the particles would just swirl around chaotically, right? But EBA is special. The beads are specifically designed with different sizes and densities. According to Stokes' law, this creates a perfectly stable, classified gradient. The larger, heavier beads stay near the bottom, and the smaller, lighter ones stay near the top. There's almost zero backmixing. If you look at a transparent 3D visualization of this, you can see how this upward expansion increases the voidage, which is basically the empty space between the beads. That wide open space is exactly what allows the chunky cells and debris to flow right through unhindered, almost in slow motion, while your glowing, color-coded target proteins selectively bind to the active surfaces of the adsorbent beads.
Section 4. Packed beds versus EBA. To really solidify why these specific hydrodynamics are such a breakthrough, let's do a direct comparison. Think of a traditional packed bed like a massive traffic jam in a tight gridlock. If you try to send large debris cars down these narrow lanes, everything gets stuck, the pressure builds up, and the whole system completely shuts down. But EBA, it's like opening up a massive, multi-lane superhighway. Because of that upward expansion, the lanes are wide open. The debris cars just cruise right on through without stopping, while the target protein passengers are smoothly picked up by the beads along the way.
Let's move on and see how this builds. Because to keep that superhighway stable while pumping liquid upward at high flow rates, sometimes up to 600 centimeters per hour, you can't just use standard lightweight chromatography resin. EBA requires tailor-made particles with very specific densities and sizes. Manufacturers actually embed heavy cores into the polymer gel, using materials like quartz, dense zirconia, or even tungsten carbide, which can have a density of over 3,200 kilograms per cubic meter. These incredibly dense, heavy cores anchor the beads against the fast upward current, ensuring the bed remains perfectly stable.
Section 5. Challenges and Future Innovations.
Of course, transitioning a complex system like this from the lab to large-scale industrial manufacturing comes with its own unique set of challenges. But scientists are already developing incredible solutions. First, let's look at what's already working, because EBA isn't just theoretical, it's actively out there in the real world isolating valuable therapeutics. It's being used to directly capture lactoferrin, a really high-value protein straight from crude sweet whey. It's being heavily researched for purifying monoclonal antibodies, the absolute backbone of modern targeted therapies. It's successfully isolating recombinant histone H1.5 directly from E. coli lysates. And it's even stepping into vaccine production, efficiently harvesting HPV L1 capsid proteins straight from fermentation broths. Like I said, it is actively isolating vital biomolecules with incredibly high purity today.
But here's the reality check. The main hurdle holding EBA back from universal, industry-wide adoption is the biological feedstock itself. Crude broths aren't just chunky, they are incredibly sticky. Biomass components like genomic DNA, lipids, and whole cells have a nasty habit of interacting with the surfaces of the EBA beads. When this sticky biomass binds to multiple beads at once, it causes cross-linking. The beads clump together into these heavy aggregates. They fall out of their stable suspension, and you get fouling and total bed collapse. It completely destroys those delicate, perfect hydrodynamics we just talked about.
So how do we fix this? Well, the scientific breakthroughs happening right now are truly fascinating. We're seeing second-generation beads that are smaller yet much denser, allowing for even faster fluidization velocities that literally rip the sticky biomass off the beads through higher drag forces. Scientists are optimizing the surface energetics and tuning the pH and ionic strength to repel the biomass. They are even designing what they call Lide particles. These are brilliant beads that have a dead, inactive outer layer to prevent crude binding while hiding the active capture ligands safely on the inside. And to perfect all of this, engineers are now using advanced multi-phase computational fluid dynamics, or CFD modeling. They're actually displaying these complex interactions on futuristic holographic interfaces in silico before ever building a physical column. It is mind-blowing stuff.
Which brings us to a really exciting question. As advanced computational fluid dynamics and next-generation smart materials finally solve the last remaining hurdles of bed fouling, are we looking at the imminent end of the centrifuge era in biomanufacturing? If EBA can fulfill its ultimate promise of direct, single-step purification from crude biology, it won't just save time and money. It will drastically accelerate the delivery of next-generation medicines and vaccines to the entire world. Think about that as you consider the future of biotechnology. I'm Dr. Chem. And thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope you found this as fascinating as I do. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.